Welcome to Embracing Infinity, exploring the infinite oneness in the space of love and truth. Host Jennifer Rose is an international spiritual medium, healer, channeler, mentor, and transformational guide. Her focus is encouraging individuals to know themselves within the lens of their divine heart and highest potential, to evolve within the frequency of love and peaceful harmony. Now, here's your host, Jennifer Rose.
Hello. Welcome to Embracing Infinity. I'm Jennifer Rose, and we are on the Sacred Spiral Network. Happy Friday, everybody, and I hope you're enjoying a nice, warm, and sunshiny month of summer season. As you know, it's one of my favorite seasons. So I'm so happy to have all of you here today joining me, and I'm very excited to soon be welcoming my guest, Noelle Deane, coming on to Embracing Infinity. We've had a lovely connection, and I'm really excited to be sharing this space with her and with all of you. And I hope you're doing well as you're all starting to come on here as well. A few quick announcements for you, my dear friends, as we move into the weekend. Coming up this evening is Fashionably Spiritual at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. I co-host that show with the lovely Nancy Muratalla, and she is the queen of fashion and sparkle, I like to call her. And we have a guest coming on with us this evening, Danny Santos, who is an astrologer and healer. I know most of you know him. He's been on Embracing Infinity and the Love Show a couple of times. And we're excited to have him on with us. And he will also be my guest next Friday on Embracing Infinity. We're talking about the North Node in Aquarius. I think I got that right. It's hard to remember astrology. And tomorrow, my friends, is Messages from the Enchanted Realms, which I also co-host with the lovely Queen of Angels, Shannon Rattay, and the Queen of Fairies, Miss Fran Pierce. So as you know, this is a very magical hour we get to spend giving messages from the other realms of spirit, or you might just get some comedic relief out of it, because we have a lot of fun on that show as well too. So please do join us tonight and tomorrow. And coming up on my sister show, The Love Show, I have the lovely Lynn Juno, who, as you all know, was just live right before Embracing Infinity doing her flower readings, and she's absolutely amazing. But she's going to be sharing her soulmate story with all of us coming up this Monday on my sister show. That's at 6 p.m. Pacific time, and it follows Be in the Light and Inner Realms Outer Journeys with Karen Bonifilio and Brian Lahr. So I got all that out as well too. And a week from Sunday is my For the Love of Spirit Sunday spiritual service. I have a wonderful guest speaker coming on, Mr. Jeffrey Dennison Abani. I think I got his name right, forgive me. And he's a really good friend of mine, and I'm excited to have him joining me for that Sunday service. It will be our last one before we go on a bit of a summer break during the month of August. So please do join us for that as well. It's a very loving, sacred, healing space. You will feel the vibe. We have poetry, we have group healing, mediumship messages, inspiration, music, and lots of love. And Kelly Brickle, Nancy Muratalla, and Fran Pierce join me with that as well, as part of what I lovingly call Team Angel. So thank you for letting me get all of those announcements out, and many other shows on the Sacred Spiral Network throughout next week as well too. With that, let's welcome and see who's here today. I want to say hi to everybody who has joined us now that you've all made your way on to. I see Miss Heidi Gold from Colorado is here. Good to see you. Hello, Miss Nancy, my beautiful friend as well too. Looking forward to seeing you this evening. Thanks so much for being here too, Miss Heidi too. Me and my shadow, hello. Thanks for joining us. We always get to see you. Lovely to have you with us again. Miss Linda Owen, hello to you. Love the hearts, my dear. Good to see you. Thank you. Hello, Miss Fran. Good to see you, Miss Fran. Good to see you. I'm excited for the fairy show tomorrow. It's Messages from the Enchanted Realms, but it's our nickname for the show. So anyways, Miss Fran, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Miss Jennifer McCormick from the UK, thank you for being here. Hi, beautiful to you too as well. Lots of love to you, my friend. I see Kiara Jade is here. Thank you for being here, Kiara. Welcome. Miss Brenda Andrews, hello there to you too, my friend. Thank you for joining us. Very happy to see you as well. And Yes, I have been reading about Barbell's basket. Yes, I have, Miss Jennifer. And I've thought of you. So hopefully we might get a chance to talk about that tonight. If not, we will do that next Saturday. Absolutely. Oh, I love that, Heidi. That's wonderful. I love that. That's so cool. Okay, and Miss Carol, welcome to you too. Thank you for joining us. Miss Ashley Page, thank you for joining us. Good to see all of you lovely ladies here. Miss Ava Bergstrom, also from the UK. Thank you for being here. I'm so happy they're all here. I'm feeling your energy. I'm feeling your love. It's getting me all like bubbly and happy inside. So that's super exciting. Jill Santos, hello, hello, my friend. Thank you. Joni Waters, hello, hello. Thank you for joining us. Great to see all of you too. Oh, and I have, oh, thank you. Yes, the Sacred Spiral Network has so many great shows. So thank you for saying that. We really appreciate it. And Miss Carol Cahill, thank you for being here. Christine Peterson, thank you for being here. Lots of love to you ladies as well too. And I do have one more quick fun announcement. I had the honor to be interviewed by Alex Ferrari over on the Next Level Soul podcast. It has a huge following there over on YouTube, and it's going to premiere next Saturday, a week from tomorrow at 4:30 Pacific, 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern, and I think 12:30 noon in the UK. I hope I can get up there early to watch myself, but I'm super, super excited. So I just wanted to put that out there too. So hopefully you all can come watch live. If not, catch the replay. Would love to see you. And Carol, you're from Chicago. Welcome, welcome. We love that we're spread out across the US and across the pond as well throughout the surrounding countries too. So this is what is exciting about modern technology, is that we get to connect internationally, and that has been the one big blessing I think that came out of COVID many years ago. Was it made us all get on tech. We all had to be good at it, and we all had to connect. But that has been a beautiful blessing. So with that, thank you all so much again for joining me here today. And let me see here. Let me pull up to, this is what we're talking about here today, my dear friends. We're having a powerful conversation with author, teacher, and intuitive medium Noelle Deane. We are going to step away from the pressure of having everything figured out and instead dive deep into the living mystery of our everyday lives. Noelle shares her beautiful perspective of viewing the body as its own consciousness. I love that so much. Offering simple, compassionate ways to partner with your body rather than trying to fix it or fear it. Love that so much. Together, we explore how to notice and decide the quiet conversations life is already having us through dreams, intuitive writing, meaningful nudges, and nature. If you are ready to move past the need to have rigid certainty, build deep self-trust, and embrace an ongoing exploration of spiritual connection, this is the place to be right now, my friends. Ooh, and I just got a big knock from Spirit on the wall. So they are so with us here today. Our beautiful Noelle Deane is an author, intuitive medium, teacher, and creator of the Mediumship Sparks podcast. After more than 2 decades supporting healing and personal transformation, including years as a licensed marriage and family therapist, she devoted her work to the study and practice of mediumship, Reiki, medical intuition, and other complementary healing modalities. You can find her on her website at Connecting with Noelle, on Instagram at Connecting with Noelle, on Facebook at Connecting with Noelle. She made it super easy for all of us. Love that. And on YouTube also at Connecting with Noelle, and it's the Mediumship Sparks podcast. And let us welcome Noelle. Let's come on.
Hello.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me, and hello to everybody who's listening.
I'm so happy that you're here, and welcome, welcome. You have quite a lovely combination of things that you've learned and brought into your system and put together to be of service to community and to spirit world. So I just want to first say thank you for all that you're doing to be of service to humanity and to spirit as well.
Well, ditto to you. And thank you for saying that. Yeah.
Thank you. And I love our conversation here today, because I think we sometimes try so hard. We could be called try-harders at trying to get everything right. And you bring in this vibe of like, wait a minute, let's just take a step back
Mm.
and relax into this a little bit too. So I love this energy that you're bringing in for us. May I ask, like, how where would you like to start in just giving us a little bit of a background? Because we worked as a therapist, and not surprisingly, your intuition came online, and then you moved into mediumship too. And I think that's been a beautiful blessing because you could hold space for your clients, your mediumship clients, in such a beautiful way because they're navigating grief and life
Mhm.
problems and so forth. So let me hand that to you.
Thanks. When I was an active therapist, I really loved it. I worked with teenagers. I was always probably a bit of like the woo woo, maybe weirdo, but some people really connected with that, which was awesome. And I actually had an experience with breast cancer, and chemotherapy wiped out my thinking mind. And I really couldn't go back to work and to do that kind of work, particularly. So the only way I could make any decision at all was my intuition. And it kind of forced me into a position of having to really focus on intuition way more than I ever did before. And I'd been developing here and there probably for about, I don't know, 8 years before then, but not seriously. But that's what led me into medical intuition. And then I realized that I was actually training for mediumship while I was doing medical intuition, which I kind of didn't
Mhm.
realize that. And once I started really delivering messages, there's been like no going back. Um,
I love that
so,
so much. Yeah,
mm,
I love that so much. And I have definitely seen plenty of therapists along the way who were clearly intuitive, and that's what was helping them. They were being guided the whole way, and then finally, maybe it kicked in and they believed it, and they realized what was also happening. And to hello to everybody who's joined us, Michael's in, and Austin as well. Thank you for being here too. Um, may I ask? I lost my train of thought for a second. Sorry about that. I lost my train of thought, my dear.
well,
Okay,
if
go
you want
ahead.
me to jump in a little bit more about medical intuition, how it relates to mediumship or just intuition, what I'd
Yeah.
like to talk about and share with people is the
Okay,
way
let's do
I
that.
came, thanks. The way I came to see it was that there's consciousnesses in our body. So medical intuition was really designed, at least the way I was trained, to be diagnostic and to really get like
Mm,
specific things. And, there was like a very medical chiropractor in my class, and I couldn't believe the information she would get. Like L6 is out of alignment. And I couldn't even pretend to do that kind of thing. What I really learned,
yeah.
and it wasn't the format, was actually to interact with parts of the body. So when I would do like a body scan, and I'm sharing about this to maybe help other people see what's possible, is I
Yeah.
remember livers. There was one liver in particular who I was like, oh, it's shiny, like it's new. And then as I got closer to it, I was like, wait a minute. And it was kind of like, as you can imagine, sort of like Gilligan's Island, if they had a mirror and an airplane was going past and they're signaling for help with the mirror,
Hmm.
the liver was
Yeah.
doing that. So the
Wow.
liver was animated enough and had its own consciousness, probably had a name, and had information that it was holding. So we can talk to parts of our body as a whole. I was having a conversation with mine a few days ago, just saying, I've been sucking at eating vegetables. I'm so sorry. I'm going to do better. And anyway, I got sort of a, yeah, it's okay, kind of response to it. But it is, I mean, I genuinely believe everything that is made of energy and has consciousness can be communicated with, and that includes our body and is unlimited to many other things as well.
Absolutely agree with you. Absolutely agree. I do the same thing. I speak to my body too because I,
Mm.
like you, believe that there's consciousness in every cell. There's an author named Madeline Engel. I think she's passed now, but she wrote Wrinkle in Time, and they were
Ah,
children's book. But they were children's book, but you could tell she was channeling all of this. You could tell she was connected. And there was another book in the series that literally was kind of all about that, about like going into the consciousness of the cells because one of the
oh, wow.
characters was sick and things like that. And so, and she described it as like universes within universes. And, so it's like our organs are little mini universes inside this big universe. And so the macro and the micro, as you know, right? And then our body is a little mini universe inside of this big, huge, endless, infinite one too. So it's very excited too. And I did remember my other thought, because when you said that your battle with cancer, which I'm so happy you survived, that's such a blessing, a miracle, took what your thinking mind. It reminded me of Jill Bolte Taylor, who she had an aneurysm, I think, or a stroke. And for a while, her left brain was shut down too. And she talks about the right brain, her consciousness coming online, and what that was like for her too. So it sounds like you'd had a similar experience.
Yeah, it was, I think I actually read that book, My Stroke of Genius, and that was great. And yeah, it's, there are some things like, let's say, even talking about the consciousness of our body and the universe within us. And there are things that can sound so out there until you start connecting with it. And you're like, oh yeah, okay, I can see that. And that's my experience with like the logical mind or thinking mind. And I don't think I could have gotten to the level of connection that I have now had I not had that experience, because I could have tried to think my way out of everything. I was very left-brained in that kind of way. So because I'm still alive, I can say, well, it happened for me, for my benefit, my experience with cancer and that kind of thing. But it did really help me learn how to operate differently. And I am grateful for that experience, because my life really changed since then. And I have no regrets. I would never go back to the way I was before.
I completely understand that. It's quite often when we have a severe illness that kind of brings us to the brink, that a huge expansion in consciousness happens. I don't know why, God, you made it that way, but okay, we accept it because this is how it is. But the gifts are endless and beautiful.
It's so easy to get caught up in like the mundane way that we can live our lives. And that can go on for, days, weeks, months, decades. Time just goes by so fast the older that we get. It's easy to stay unconscious. It really takes something to shake ourselves out of it. So that's been my impression. And that's part of why I do talk to my body, because there's a part of me that's like, I don't want to need another health issue to wake me up because I've become complacent or unconscious about something. So that's part of my motivation to stay more connected to myself. Not like I believe I can think my way out of illness, but I want to be conscientious enough that I don't need some outside thing to come in and help me become more that way.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
if we don't listen to the nudges, we get the knocks and then the walls and the pummels. So I'm right there with you too.
Yeah.
And do you find that your body helps to give you information like, I'd like more B12, or I'd like you to go on a walk, take me on a walk, or anything like that?
Well, actually, that's how I take my vitamins now. I have certain ones that I, like calcium, I'll take whenever I'm willing to take those vitamins because you have to swallow them. But there are others that I have a little bin and I pull it down and I just put it up to my solar plexus. And, if I even need to do that, and just check in, should I take this today? So like I took zinc today. I also took zinc yesterday. Normally I get a yes every other day. So I must have needed more zinc, but I trust my body enough to just ask. And it's, I mean, my body, I'm sure, doesn't want the biscuits that I eat as much as I enjoy eating them, but the bigger things, the more important things, I do ask. And I try never to ask anything when I'm not willing to follow the answer. So,
I love that. I love that. And when you're working with clients doing your medical intuition, do you also guide them in that respect of like suggest that they learn to talk to their body too?
I mean, that's kind of my plug for everybody. I mean, there's, it's one thing to do a session or a reading for somebody, but there's a part of me that feels like a much bigger advocate to help people understand the limitlessness of mediumship or intuition, or however you want to look at it, for everybody to be more connected to themselves and to trust what they get. So, I try to do that as much as I possibly can.
Yeah, that lets me know that you have really come into a space of authenticity, because you get it. You get that, you're sort of a guide or a helper or a catalyst too, but then you're helping them to see what's already in them so that they can take the reins and make their lives better too. I love that so much too. You really
Mm.
do have that energy about you too. You have a very soft but strong and grounded energy, and so I'm not
Mm.
surprised that you have a strong mind body spirit connection in the way that you communicate with yourself too. And I think so often as spiritual folks, sometimes we get very much into the spirit, and then we forget that this is here too, and so that's a very like grounded approach too. And when your clients come to you, do they come like solely for medical intuition, or do they like a combination of things?
To be honest, I don't get a lot of calls for medical intuition. And when I do,
Yeah,
and I'm thinking of the last one that I had, I was very clear, like, I'm not doing this for diagnostic reasons. I'm looking to
yeah,
be like the bridge to help your body communicate with you about if this was somebody who was recovering from a medical issue.
mm,
And I had such an
ah,
appreciation to not feel the pressure of diagnostics. Not that I've never gotten that information,
mm,
because of course I have, because that's what I
mm,
was trained to do. But yeah, I think people are more interested in mediumship, and my passion really is more around teaching and mentoring. Like
yeah,
I do a mediumship circle, or I have moments even with friends. I just had a beautiful moment with somebody I was catching up with. One of the young women who I actually worked with when she was a teenager, and we were just chatting about stuff. And I know she's intuitive, and she mentioned something about an energy in her home. She'd never mentioned it to me before, and her boyfriend
mm,
doesn't even like to come into her home because of that. And I was like, say more about
ah,
things happening, because she mentioned things happen anyway. And we had this beautiful experience of helping a 14-year-old who passed in 1889 crossover together.
ah,
Nothing she'd ever done before, nothing I've done in a while. And just there's just this beautiful generosity that spirit gives us. I don't know, the
yeah,
awareness, the love, the compassion to deal with energies or beings, having compassion for the organs of our
mm,
body, having compassion for the energies around
yeah,
us. There's just, people who are suffering, people who want relief from grief. That's part of why I started
yeah,
teaching, is I knew 3 people that had very significant losses, and it was easy for me to give a reading, but hard to tolerate how difficult it was for them, knowing that in between they were suffering so much. So
yeah,
my bigger passion is to have people have the spiritual life they actually want to live. Mine has been a huge
mhm,
evolution. Even 5 years ago, I operated very differently. When you're talking about that mind-body connection, I didn't really have that. I'm constantly looking to evolve how I'm doing things,
mhm,
bringing more integrity into myself, more
yeah,
authenticity. Um, it's just this evolving, constantly evolving, or at least attempting to, in the ways that I can be conscious enough to do. And it just keeps going as I, understand that's been your path too. You've been pretty intensely focused on this for 10 years, and you've evolved into this amazing person who has all these skills, uses all these beautiful modalities to help people heal and become aware. And it's kind of addicting to really want to help people in this beautiful, like, sort of intimate but profound way.
yeah.
Nothing quite like it.
Absolutely, and yeah, like you, I take that very seriously.
Oh, yeah.
So I get it. Miss Jennifer C, I love that,
Mhm.
Noelle. I use my intuition for
Aw.
medical guidance for her sons. Her younger 2 sons have health complications and
Mm.
disabilities. So another beautiful way to use the gift is to help navigate family as well too, so that we can make the best decisions for our children and our other members of our family well. I love that too. Uh, Regina, oh, I love your name. Beautiful energy from you ladies. Understand that unconscious of thinking, listen to your inner voice. Yes, yes. And Nancy is saying, love this, great
Mm.
suggestions. Um, how would you advise us to get more in touch with our inner voice? There can be, and you're a therapist, so this is going to be fun. So you understand we have a lot of parts, and we can hear a lot of voices from
Mm.
different parts or different ages of us. So how can we make peace with all the parts so that we can get really in touch with the inner voice of our higher self, our spirit, or our heart, whatever you would like to label it. I kind of like to hodgepodge them all into they're all us, different dimensions of us. But what would be a good way to like really get in touch with that really knowing, loving, compassionate part of us?
That's a great question. I mean, I think in some ways it's very complicated. I think focusing
Mm,
on what feels real and right to you in the moment and not trying to
mm.
overdo or kind of capture everything. I'm, in sort of a perfectionist, not just sort of, in certain areas. So learning how to
Me too.
accept like what is real and right in this moment is very different than trying to do it perfectly. And and the same thing with being connected or being conscientious in the ways that we can. I mean, sitting and getting quiet, there's nothing that replaces that. And then see what bubbles up. The first thing that bubbles up. What I love about what Jennifer shared is that about using medical intuition or just intuition with her sons, is that piece about self-trust, which there is nothing quite like it. But I think that's the hardest thing for anybody that I've sat with, that I've taught more about mediumship to, or certainly myself, trusting the information that comes in. We think it came in too quickly, too easily. That was too easy. Let me try again. Um, and really just taking that first hint, that first hit that we get. But also remembering that we are also human beings. I, you know,
Yeah.
Sometimes you forget that part of it. Like, oh, right. I'm just a regular person. I'm allowed to have
Mhm.
reactions to things or get sick
Yeah.
or whatever it
Yeah.
is, and not try to, um, overdo the ability. I mean, if we came here for a human experience, we also want to experience that.
Yeah.
I think there's a term of spiritual bypassing, and I'm not recommending that, and I know you're not bringing that up either. But we also
Oh,
just
of
want to be
course.
careful that we don't try to create that as an expectation for ourselves. I also just want to say
Right.
on the website, there's an
Mhm.
extra E at the end of Noelle that isn't necessary.
Oh, okay. Well, we
If
can get that
anybody's
fixed. No
interested,
problem. Yeah,
thank
we'll
you.
get that fixed. Yeah, I'm glad you brought
Thank
that
you.
up
I just
too.
noticed, I'm like,
Um,
oh, that's kind of a cute way to spell it,
yeah,
but
yeah, we don't want
that's
the
not
extra E on
it.
there. We'll get that. That's no problem. We'll get that fixed for you too. Yeah, I absolutely agree. We we are allowed to have a human experience and experience our emotions and our feelings. And I think if we've been on the spiritual path, we may be too hard on ourselves and our expectations because we're not robots. We are, so it's like we can keep going towards more enlightenment and have those moments and be a person sharing wisdom, but we still may have moments where we cry or we get
Mm.
angry or or we just need to vent and be human and let that out too. I absolutely agree with you too, because it can be very clever to use mental processes and spiritual concepts to deny and disown parts of ourselves too, to keep that kind of facade up too. And so we have to keep kind of like permission to be human, permission to have feelings. We're not robots. It's okay. I love that you brought that up. Mary Coombs, hi Mary, good to see you. She says medical intuition sounds a lot
Mhm.
like Reiki, and you do both.
Oh, that's a great distinction
Yeah.
to bring up, because both are using your intuition, and there may not even be much of a line. That's how I would do Reiki, is to feel led um, or um, feel led to a particular area. So, I mean, it's all intuition. It's all just listening. It's
Yeah.
all being aware. I mean, I think that is like the underscore for everything that we're looking to do, is to bring consciousness as much as we can think of in the moment. And I really try to remember that a lot in talking to people. You brought up when we first started speaking about authenticity. And I feel like the
Mhm.
journey that I've been on in the last few years is sort of paring down all the BS in my life, people pleasing, being codependent with anybody, having poor boundaries, feeling resentful of things. That people cross boundaries, they don't even know we're there. The more I've been working on like my personal self, I feel like my mediumship, my connection, my intuition just gets clearer and clearer, because the lack of healing blocks stuff. And then the more we're willing to do that and let crap go and become this more as authentic a version of ourselves as we can, I just feel like the sky's the limit with what we're able to connect with and who can connect and wants to connect with us.
I Couldn't agree with you more. I'm so big. Everybody who's on here as well, and hi Kay Weezy too, for joining us, and good to thank you. And Brenda Andrews is agreeing with you. She says so very true. I agree. I'm a huge proponent of self-development too, and that's what gets you a nice clear channel. So the more you do it, the rewards are great. So we could say in fun, simple terms, your magic powers will get better if you do the work. That was me being cute, but you get it, right? That's
And
your gift.
and stick with it and finding different ways to be, I don't know, a clearer, better conduit, more consistent maybe. There were times when I would just be journaling at the end of my day and I would get messages, or I'm up at 3 a.m. I just got, and I did write it down somewhere, like an idea from my grandfather in the middle of the night last night. And, we're always being communicated with. It's paying attention to it, taking it to heart that, wow, my grandfather is going out of his way to give me a message. Let me honor and respect what he's offering to me and not throw it away. But it's not until you really build that self-trust, like, oh, I really am getting a message. It's not just my mind is wandering, or it's amazing to me how much, other people, energies from the other side can infiltrate our thoughts, idea. I mean, it's beautiful. But we have to have good boundaries with everybody. That includes people in spirit, of course, too.
Yeah, I love that so much. And because I think part of doing even your self-integration, but also with your spiritual expansion, we become more and more aware that we are spirit and that we're always connected to it. So there really isn't an on-off switch. There's just a how immersed we are into this reality or that one too. So it's more of a spectrum or a continuum too. And on a more serious note, because we are holding space for people in grief, and people who have experienced trauma and are going through a lot of stuff, the need to be a clear channel is most important, so that we are always healing and not harming. And this is a big one of mine with mediumship. My big pet peeve is if we're giving messages that aren't healing to people, that aren't uplifting, that aren't making their lives better because our own stuff has gotten in the way and is moving something negative to them. I'm just like, well, that wasn't spirit, And of course we have to give ourselves grace, because we're always growing and learning. So there's definitely forgiving ourselves and giving ourselves grace if we didn't do a perfect job, of course, but just continuing to be dedicated to the interpersonal work gets us closer and closer. And it's a continual process. So I absolutely agree with you. And I imagine that your work as a marriage and family therapist has helped you with that, and then but also helped you within the guidance that you are able to give to people as well too. Because I know, spirit world is always coming through saying, this is what we suggest for you. This might be helpful for you, but you can also be like, this is Noelle and I've been through this, so you have a little bit more grace leeway there too, because of your background too. Because as mediums, we do have to be a little bit careful, with the messaging, too, because not to like you said, be too overly diagnostic and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, being a good listener, being a compassionate person. Sometimes, it is. There are times I'm thinking, I'm getting a little bit of a flashback to a reading that I did. It was a few years ago, and the client was just, she was crying so hard. I was like, do I stop? I wasn't really sure what to do, because the therapist in me is like, somebody's crying, I should tend to them in a very particular way. And here I am giving them more information that's making them cry harder. So learning to check in with people, just trying to, I feel like it comes back to authenticity, but I don't think that really captures it. But just being as transparent in the moment as humanly possible, even when it's like clumsy, or like even just saying, I really don't know what to say right now, like just being willing to just be as open as possible. I think that just helps so much. And I wish I was a better therapist in that kind of way. I was younger and I didn't have the experience that I have now, but sometimes I talk to people and I think they're asking for a therapeutic kind of conversation just in my personal life. And it's just so cool how intuitive hits come in and play a part of everything. You were saying earlier about it becomes a part of your everyday life. I feel like at some point, maybe a couple of years ago, I don't really remember when it happened, but I think this became who I am, not just what I do. And to me, that's like the essence of how I really want to
Yeah.
live, and support other people to do that too, if that's what they want,
That's a huge
is
shift.
to,
Yeah.
yeah,
Who
not
I
have a
am, not just what I
separation.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love that so much. It's
Mm,
true. I think, uh, we're doing the work of spirit. You could say we're doing God's work, whatever word you want to use for that too. And it is sacred. It is
oh,
sacred. So it does really become part of your being, part of who you are. I absolutely get that. Yeah. You all feel that? Do you feel that how the atmosphere just shifted as you
mm,
and I were just speaking about that? It's so beautiful because I know
mm,
that like spirit's holding a beautiful container for all of us now. So it's making me quite emotional too. And I understand how our clients get emotional because
mm,
they're not always used to that energy. And it causes this heart opening, and the heart opening feels vulnerable. And then the tears flow out because they've been waiting. They're
mm,
finally in a safe space to let that grief out because they know you understand. You understand of all people, right?
yeah.
And so I love that too much, so much. I want to stop really quick, and I want to say thanks to everybody who's joining us. I see Melissa Callahan, Kay Weezy is here too. Thank you for putting the little hashtag lives in the comments. It does tell Facebook and YouTube that we're doing something great here, so more people start to see it.
Mm,
So that's really
nice.
wonderful. If you wouldn't mind clicking the little heart on your Facebook post as well too, that helps as well. And hit the thumbs up too over on YouTube, and you can subscribe to all of our YouTube channels as well. We greatly appreciate it. So thank you all for that too. And it's just those little bits of energy help to keep us all
Mm,
connected and are greatly appreciated, so we can all keep growing together. So, and let me see, I want to say here, Brenda's saying, I've realized that statement, being in the moment, is so important. Yes.
yeah. And part of that is, if you have a lot of noise in your head, I mean, I certainly did. Boundaries that I never set or wasn't willing to, or relationships that were tugging on me in ways that were really unhealthy. The clearer we become, because we've grown through, had to have hard conversations with ourselves about how we're living. The more we pare down the stuff that isn't who we really are, kind of like Michelangelo, when he was talking about creating David, he removed everything that wasn't David, and that's what was left. And I kind of feel like that is such a great, I don't know if it's a metaphor or analogy, but let's say metaphor for how I
Yeah.
think we're meant to be, is to get rid of everything that isn't there. And I just want to go back for just a moment, when you were talking about the energy shift that we were feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I think in that moment, what I felt present to, and you may have also, is the reverence that we have for doing the work of spirit, for the people, the clients that we're here to serve, for the people in spirit that we're here to support, to bring their messages of love, and the healing that comes with people remembering that we're still all very connected. Sometimes people in spirit feel just so far away. And I used to think, oh, it's just this long
Yeah.
distance phone call. And now I'm feeling much more aware of, like, there's not a wall between us. I mean, I know we talk about the veil, but it's almost like this little fence. And we can feel them very, very close by, sometimes right in our own body, very close. And there is like a
Mm-hmm.
separation, because we know we live in, these distinct universes or realms, but the closeness that we can feel, that we're capable of feeling the love and the compassion from people in spirit, is beautiful. And the reverence for doing the work so that we are as clear a channel as possible to do the best job we
Mm-hmm.
possibly can to really honor somebody's pain and their healing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a beautiful job, and it's a huge responsibility. I agree with you completely. We really
Yeah.
want to do our best to be the clearest we possibly can with everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, I so agree. And Brenda as well saying so very
Yeah.
true. I
Thanks,
agree.
Brenda.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. We definitely having reverence for this work is so important. And I don't use this in the religious sense of the word, but it's just very holy work. It just
Mm,
is. And it's when I feel the most beautiful too, because the
mm,
energy is pure love, and love is really
yeah.
what is connecting us. And like you said, that feeling of separation, it starts to thin the closer and more connected we
Hmm.
get. And I think that the more we learn to connect ourselves and integrate ourselves, then also the more we become aware of our connection to everything around us, to consciousness, to the people, to spirit too. And there's a gift in that as well. So it's like we're constantly healing splits, you know, and yeah. And it's a
Yeah.
beautiful infinite dance, isn't it? Yeah.
It is. The word that just came to me was capacity. I think the more we peel away what's not supposed to still be with us, the more capacity we have to be with the depth of what other people are bringing to us to be with. I'm finding just recently, even the connections that I'm getting, the mediumship readings that I'm doing, I'm getting information from people in spirit that I wasn't asking for, but they're revealing some big, I want to say truths. It's a truth to them. It's not the truth of the universe. I wouldn't trust anybody who said this is the truth of the universe ever. But they're just giving it like family experiences, their experience of being on the other side. And that's actually a series I'm thinking of
Yeah.
doing on the podcast. And I'm
Ooh.
actually meeting with somebody right after this. We had a beautiful reading, and the client's sister in spirit shared so many little nuggets of things I couldn't believe about her experience on the other side, their whole family's experience. It was just, I wasn't asking. I'm just trying to, be the messenger. So I'm not trying to satisfy my own
Yeah.
curiosity for curiosity's sake ever. Anyway, but I feel like we can be with a lot more when we're caring a lot less of our own stuff and crap in history. So
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
plug for, increasing our capacity, all of us, all the time.
Absolutely. I love it so much when they share a little glimpse of what it's like on the other side too. It's pretty fun. We're like, oh my gosh, they're showing me what it was like when they passed, and they're showing me what they're doing now. Like, this is so cool as well. And you all can subscribe to Noelle's YouTube channel. It's Connecting with Noelle, and it's the Mediumship Sparks podcast. And we have the links for that in the description over both on Facebook and on YouTube as well too. So it'll be easy to find. You can just click the link to it. And I'm going to plug myself because I was on Noelle's podcast too, and I did share it out about a week or two ago too. So I had I was very grateful and fortunate and honored to be interviewed by you as well. So it's kind of fun that we get to do this back and forth as
Oh,
well
I
too.
love that. Thank you. And I do want to
Yeah.
say that I was doing a podcast called Mediumship Sparks through a company that actually went out of business last year. So I had to
Oh, wow.
reboot myself. So Mediumship
Ah,
Sparks, the next chapter, is my current podcast. I
thank you.
release a new podcast every Thursday. I have reposted actually some of the episodes from that first, I consider it the first season. So that,
Oh, I love that.
because yeah, there were some really cool moments with people and energies and collectives that came through for that, which was really an honor to talk with. But yeah, I don't even know where I'm taking the podcast at this point. I'm just trying to be with its evolution as it feels like I
Mhm.
keep moving forward and it's moving forward. Hopefully people are seeing themselves more and more in it, is my hope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that so much. Yeah. So please do give her a subscribe. And you can also help Miss Medium Jennifer Rose on the Sacred Spiral Network as well. So 3 thumbs up. We appreciate it. It's so fun when you hit the subscribe because it makes a little celebration for you.
That's
So
adorable.
it is pretty cute. Okay. Melissa Callahan. Hi, Melissa. She loves your analogy with the
Mm,
Michelangelo. Perfect way to think about clearing our vessel. Just getting rid of everything that isn't David or us, too. It's that
yeah.
little kind of chiseling away that, too. It's a very beautiful way to put it, too. And Brian, hello, Brian. Mercury retrograde. It is. Yeah. We have been feeling it. We're so happy that everything is working now. God bless us. So Spirit's helping us out. You have to say a little prayer to the tech angels, like Mercury retrograde, extra be on duty, everybody, too. Okay, we have a question from, is it Regina or Regina? Okay, Regina, how do we balance our soul emotions that can be overwhelming in this human existence? Ooh, that's a great question. Our soul
Ooh, soul
emotions.
emotions. Kind of sitting with what that means about soul
Yeah, yeah.
emotions.
It's a beautiful but a
Huh.
little bit different way of putting it. I,
Yeah.
I perhaps and correct me if I'm wrong, Regina. I apologize if I'm not saying that correctly too. I think that if we look from the perspective of the soul wants to come here for experience, so that means it wants to feel a wide spectrum of experiences and emotional experiences with that. So emotions are very much the soul of wanting to feel, and like, what does it feel like to be angry? I'll give myself experiences to be angry. What does it feel like to be in grief? And so this can go all the way into rage and despair and extreme loneliness and extreme connection. But to the personality, ooh, that can be a lot. So I think maybe that's where she's going with that too. And how can we find balance in that, or how can we make peace with that?
I have a suggestion. One of the things that I try to remember, Regina, is to have one foot in the spiritual world and one foot in the human world. And just to thought, if this feels right to you, to try it on, is that if we can remember that we're having an experience, like the emotions don't define us, it's not who we are. It's kind of weird sometimes having these moments of like, we're kind of in this play, but we forget we're in a play. But just try on in the moments when you feel overwhelmed, that there's a much bigger picture here too. Like you can be diagnosed with a very serious illness, and then you survive that, and then you look back and you're like, oh, great. Thank you for clarifying. She's saying that's what I mean. In the moment, those experiences are kind of horrible for you, painful and distressing and sometimes terrifying. But we do want to remember, if this is your belief, that we signed up to have experiences, and trying to not make them wrong sometimes is hard when they're difficult. But then you get to feel like maybe a bit of a champion is the word coming into my mind, that you actually you kept walking. You just kept walking. You came here for this kind of thing. But sometimes it sucks. And bringing in some self-compassion as much as you can, and also connecting with spiritual friends. Like there's nothing that replaces talking to another friend who has a similar belief system as you, to really be able to air out the parts of you that feel so caught up in the human part that you forget that you're the spiritual part. But to get the support that you actually need. That's a big deal.
That so much. Yeah, that's very helpful. I think too is that at a young age, we may learn to judge certain emotions as right or wrong, or good or bad. And so what that does is it teaches us sort of this like a nervous system resistance to what feels painful. So, our protective mind and our nervous system is then so resistant. But then sometimes it's just like sometimes for me, if I'm experiencing very painful emotion, I will actually like lean into it, and I'll try to like bring my mind down into my body and just feel it. And I tell myself, this isn't going to kill me. We're not going to die. This is, and like, I'm just having a physical experience, without putting even a label onto what emotion it is. Sometimes that's helpful. And sometimes listening to what the voices of the different parts of you are saying can also be helpful. But sometimes it's just, I'm just going to allow myself to feel this energy, because I'm feeling intense energy right now in my body. And then it seems to move quicker because I'm not resisting it. I'm just allowing it to be. But I know also we're spiritual people. We're in the dark night of the soul when we go through our awakenings, and they can be little ones or they can be big ones, and they will bring you to the floor, to your knees of loneliness and disconnection too. And it is so hard that people probably feel like they're dying. You feel like you're dying, or you feel like you want to die. But we make it to the other side, we come back into the other light. And like you said, when we come back into the light, we do feel like a champion. It's like that I'm still standing song by Elton John. That's what I used to listen to when I'm like, I made it out of my 383rd darkness.
Well, if I could just add, you brought up a really important point, is that you can relate to what you're feeling as an energy. Like I have a friend, she was really experiencing depression every couple of days, sometimes just once a week, like a regular kind of thing. But maybe two, right? Anyway, we had a conversation with the energy of the depression and relating to it like it's an energy that's visiting, and what is the purpose. She learned a lot connecting with that energy. The energy was basically saying, look, sister, I'm trying to protect you. You don't have that much energy. You expend so much, you're out late, you're not resting, and then your body's depleted. So I'm coming in to make you rest. So it wasn't an
Oh,
enemy, but you're also talking about not
yeah.
resisting. And I'm glad somebody brought up something therapeutic. Thank you, Jennifer, about
You're
not
welcome.
resisting feelings when they come up, because that leads to misbehaviors, or it could. But it's hard to want to do
Mhm.
that when you just relate to it like it's pain. And we're taught to avoid, we're taught to distract ourselves. My goodness, in the age of technology, we could distract ourselves so much. It's ridiculous. So,
Yeah.
yeah, being willing
Yeah.
to not resist, just be with.
Exactly. Yeah, and it takes practice. I get it. It's not
Yeah.
easy. It takes practice, but the more we practice it, the easier it gets, and the more we
Yeah.
remember to do it as well too. So yeah, and
Mm.
I've learned all this the hard way myself.
Yeah.
So
As we all do in our own ways.
exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the learned and lived experience, but hey, that's what garners wisdom, right?
Yeah.
Brenda's saying vibe with your tribe, and Regina's saying
Mm.
thank you, fully understand. Was just about to say the dark night of the soul.
Mm.
Yep, yep. We know.
Yeah. And thanks
Yeah.
for
Oh,
bringing up the
sorry.
question, Regina. That was a really good question to,
It was a great
yeah,
question. Yeah, absolutely
thanks.
too.
Yeah.
See if there's anything else. Okay, Weezy, he's a regular, comes on all of our shows, and he's saying his neighbor passed away last night.
Mm.
We're not
Oh,
doing readings on this show, K Weezy, but we have a reading show tomorrow. She may come through, but I would just wanted to send you lots of love here today too. So I'm sorry for your lost love. And but I'm glad you're here with us, because even if we're not doing readings, we're in the healing energy right now too. And so that's what's beautiful, is we're in the healing energy. Whenever we're in the
mm.
space of spirit, it's always healing, because they're here, right? And so I always know when I'm doing a reading too, like we're in the healing energy. So we're talking about all the stuff and connecting,
Yes.
and then in the background, they're doing something magical to help that person feel better.
Yeah. And, when
Yeah,
somebody is newly passed, it's so easy to, like, are you concerned about that person and their soul, and are they okay? Or are you just feeling the feels of having somebody out of your normal sphere? And we're
yeah,
not doing readings, but I just got a visual
yeah,
as you read the statement from Kay Weezy, that I
yeah.
saw who I believe is this neighbor of yours. And I'm seeing a woman
Mhm.
with very dark hair, and she bowed like she was
Oh,
leaving the stage. So she looked very at peace. There was a calm energy with
yeah,
her. And they're always
beautiful.
okay. It's us that feel like a mess. But when people cross over, they are welcomed, celebrated. A lot of good stuff over there for them. So, but I'm
Yeah,
sorry for you, because if she was a part of
yeah.
your everyday life, that will feel like a missing, and maybe be open to that she will be around and come and say hello herself. Just a thought.
I love that. I love that was beautiful. Thank you for giving him. That was a beautiful gift here today, too.
Well, she
Um,
showed up, so I can't not say,
yeah,
I
exactly,
can't
exactly.
not acknowledge her. So
Yep.
yeah.
And he's saying, "Yep, that's
Oh,
her." Yay!
very
So
nice.
he
Good.
he he did get to connect with her. That's beautiful. Yeah, and
Mhm.
he's Kweezy is such a beautiful soul, and he becomes very attached to his loved ones, and so he just wants to know that they're with him, and
Yeah.
so that's beautiful. I think we get focused on sometimes the big picture with mediumship, but sometimes people just want to know that they're okay. They just want to
Totally.
know that that they're not in pain anymore if they've had an illness,
Yeah.
um, and that's a beautiful gift to give people. That sometimes it's a simple thing. They want to know that they're not upset with you for if you didn't get to say goodbye. Those things like
Yeah.
that, and it's just those little bits can bring the most amount of healing and peace. And I think sometimes we're focused on, did we give them enough message? Did we give them enough evidence? And it's like, did we lift the weight off their shoulders of, are they okay? Have they made it?
Yeah.
And they're happy, they're at peace, they're not in pain anymore. And to explain to them that they take responsibility for their behaviors, and that they don't hold grudges. So, and that they know, if you wish you had said such and such, they know, and like, that's a beautiful gift to give to people.
Oh, absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, there's natural grief when somebody leaves the planet, and we're sad to not be able to hug them or hold them or have lunch
Yeah.
with them or cook together, kind of thing. But the unnecessary grief is the part where we worry. So getting a message, getting validation that they're okay. I have a dear friend of mine whose dog recently passed, and this was like her soul dog. And she was having such a hard time. And he came to her in dreams. He gave me messages for her as soon as he passed. So, those on the other side, when we're open to it, can be trying to give you those nudges. I mean, it just happened last night, Kweezy. So,
Yeah.
maybe she needs some
Yeah.
time to catch up with you, but it is nice she's back with her husband. That's beautiful. And that's such a great way to look at it, is that in some ways she's restored where she is. But and I don't mean unnecessary grief, like it's just not necessary to feel sad, but the part of worrying about them, because they're great.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're great, believe me.
It's pretty great
Everybody
over
said
there.
that,
Yeah. We all know it's pretty great over there too. And there is an irony in this infinite dance that we're all in, is that we're mourning them, we're missing them, we're grieving them. And then they go over there and it's a big reunion and a big celebration, and couples get reunited and families get reunited, and it's all hugs and kisses and all of that too. And it's like, and we're like, but we miss you, we want you back. But such is life. This is the infinite dance. Yeah. Grief and
and
love
we also want
together.
to, I'm so sorry. We also want to find ways to enjoy our connections. Like sometimes when I'm driving and a good 80s song comes on, I turn it up and I immediately feel and kind of see in my mind's eye, my sister is sitting next to me, my aunt is behind me, sometimes my grandmother's in the car with me. So, I accept these, momentary visuals as this is what's happening, because that's how information comes in. And I don't sit and dissect, well, do I want my sister to be here? And that's why I think she's here. But finding these ways that we can like celebrate life with those that love us, that are on the other side, is just such a powerful gift. And like music or a dance party, when I was grounding for this visual came to me of all these grandparents, and I've got a strange family tree. So I have a lot of people in the grandparent category, and new ones that I haven't even, well, one I haven't even seen before since he crossed over, was like part of my circle. And I was just part of the circle, but it was just so heartening to have them here with me. So being open to, you can feel or just imagine people around you who come in. And so it's beautiful to think of your neighbor as back with her husband, but also remembering she's going to want to check on you and other people, and just seeing there's much less of a separation than we think. But everybody I've spoken with on the other side, one person was still a little lost and confused, but that was actually his personality when he was here too. But he wasn't upset. He just hadn't figured out, I think, his sense of being over there. But everybody else is always fine, sometimes happy. One guy was throwing a dance party. They're in good shape.
I love it. Yeah. We all know it's pretty great over there.
Yeah.
Okay. You said 80s music. What do you have a few favorite bands? I'm a big new wave 80s music person. I'm like I'm a Durrani, and I'm gonna be, yeah, I go to concerts when the 80s bands are out.
Nice. I would listen, like just this morning I was at the gym, I heard an AC/DC song, and that would have been a good one in the car with my sister. Or I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett. I mean, my sister's a pretty easy sell. She was the one person I could sing in the car with, and we would sing at the top of our lungs. And so it's always fun to feel her there with me, and just whatever it is. But yeah, we don't really discriminate. I'm trying to think of who in particular. She loved Billy Squier. So when I hear Billy Squier, I particularly think of her.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so cool. You guys are like Thelma and Louise, aren't you?
I love
Without going off the cliff. We're not doing that part, but
we're not doing that part. But we didn't have a great relationship when she was here. And yeah, at her 1-year anniversary of her passing, I actually did a podcast episode with her, and that was our first real conversation since she had passed. And man, I feel closer to her now. She helps me with cooking. She helps make certain decisions. If I'm going to redecorate something, she would be the person I would consult with, because she loved that kind of stuff. That's what I mean about like finding things to do together. My sister would have been happy to tell you she was a better cook than me, and I would have defended myself, but now I'm okay to admit it, that she is. And I'll ask her to help me cook and pick out spices for things, because I don't really know what to put with anything. And it's just a beautiful thing to be able to do together, and thinking about that for your loved ones and what did they enjoy. And when you're doing those kinds of things, think of them, invite them in, invite their energy, and then just feel out what feels like a yes from them. And then you're spending time together, and it's just, there's nothing quite like it. It's
I love
amazing.
that. Yeah, I love that so much. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go bake something and invite grandma one, and then I'm going to go shopping and invite grandma two.
Perfect.
That sounds so fun. That sounds like a lot of fun. And you bring up an important point, because sometimes we can actually have a better relationship with our loved one when they're in spirit world than when they were here, because we're sort of free of some of the, emotional dynamics and things that were going on between. That all gets healed when they're over there. And so they're able to be their really full, their full, beautiful, graceful self with us too. And we can enjoy sometimes a better relationship with them out of body than in body too, which is like, there's a gift in that too.
Oh, absolutely. And she and I, we've apologized to each other about things. I mean, I'm not just banking on that she's going to forgive me for everything. I had my jerky moments, and but yeah, it's really, I love spending time with her now, and it's not constant, but when she's around, I feel really supported, and I love it. And I just she shared one cooking tip with me. I was making homemade dressing, and she told me to put olive juice in the dressing. That just sounded so gross to me. I love olives, but olive juice, I was like, what are you talking? But you know what? She was right. So listen, because they have tips that you might never think of about whatever it is that you're doing. Baking with your grandma, she might suggest that you add a different kind of chocolate chip or something that you'd be like, really? And then you're like, oh my goodness, that was amazing. Thank you so much. And so, I mean, it's hard to grieve when you can feel them around you in that kind of way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what I really want for people, for whatever degree of spiritual connection you want, have an open mind that you can really have that, because I didn't have this before. I've created this. I've worked towards this. I wasn't born this way. I think anybody can sort of earn the stripes of, spending time connecting, shedding your own personal crap to become a clearer version of yourself, just your own self, so that people can connect with you more, and you'll want to connect with them more. And it's beautiful.
Absolutely is beautiful. Yeah. And we'll be so much happier too, as well too. So
Feeling more supported, more part of a community, knowing that our family is around us. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. Not while we're here.
I so agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a beautiful conversation we have had together, Noelle. Thank you. And with all of our lovely friends here too. May I ask, do we have a special comment here? Let me see. Brenda is saying, her great grandma Minnie Maud. I can see myself freezing too, so I don't want to test Mercury retrograde much longer. My great grandmother Minnie Maud came to me and told me, there I'm freezing again, to use Fells Nephtha for stains and clothes. How cool is that?
I'm writing that down. Awesome. Thank you, Grandma.
Yeah. The grandmas never let us down, right? They always show up. They never. God bless all the grandmas too. Okay, my love. It's such a beautiful and sacred conversation. Any last minute words you would like to leave us with? And again, everybody, you can find her at connectingwithnoelle.com. She's over on Facebook. She's over on Instagram, and she's over on YouTube at Connecting with Noelle. The mediumship sparks. What was the next word?
The next chapter.
The next chapter. Yeah. Thank you. The next chapter podcast too. So, okay. You're so welcome, Brenda. Okay. I'll hand it over to you.
I just feel very moved in this moment. I can feel the emotion and the gratitude and the celebration of those in spirit that are with us in this moment. And I'm seeing the words like joyfully celebrating. That we think of them in this kind of way. And there's reverence, but then there's also like a real relationship that we can have. And they don't want to be put on a pedestal. They're not perfect because they're out of a body. They are more themselves than they've ever been in the version that we knew. And we're invited to be more of ourselves, sloppy, clumsy, loving, wonderful, and they love us all the same. And it's an unconditional connection. This is what I'm getting. And they're encouraging all of us to feed upon that, because it helps with our self-esteem, our sense of community, and our own hearts. And all of my grandparents are kind of putting their hands together like, thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, everybody who is here. Thank you so much for participating in this today. And I'm just so grateful for the whole experience. the spiritual life, people to share it with. It's just beautiful. And thank you, Jennifer.
You're so welcome. That was a beautiful channel. And I think we have embraced the living mystery very well today here too. So absolutely lovely. Please, everybody, do join us for Fashionably Spiritual tonight at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Time, Messages from the Enchanted Realms. Tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Pacific Time. And the Love Show with my guest, Lynn Juno, on Monday, my sister show, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. That is after Being the Light with Brian Lahr and Inner Rails Our Journeys with Karen Bonafilio, and many more shows next week on the Sacred Spiral Network. I wish you all lots of love and a beautiful weekend ahead. Stay in the sunshine and the warmth, enjoy it, but don't get sunburned, everybody. Too. A big thank you to our producer, Kelly Brickle, and Lori Smith for helping us out here today and making all of this run so smoothly and beautifully. We're so grateful for the two of you, beautiful souls as well. And with that, I will say, live well, love you well, and walk with grace, my beautiful friends. And we'll see you next time on Embracing Infinity with astrologer and healer Danny Santos. So lots of love to everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Noelle.
My pleasure. Thank you, everyone.